Alrighty. Now the stream should be working. Guys, I've been running into so many issues with streaming on YouTube. It is absolutely ridiculous. But we're here. We're getting started. I'm sorry that I'm late. Let's just hop right in to today's content. So, we got to talk about a lot of things because a lot of things happened over the last couple of days. Obviously, we know with OTAs going on, and we had rookie minicamp, and the New York Jets brought in a player from that rookie minicamp to the team, which is great. Division II standout player. That's awesome. You love seeing that. You love hearing about that. But more importantly, we got to see Aaron Rodgers out there, and he was there for OTAs, which I think was very, very important. I know some people got a little bit worried about the fact that he tweaked his calf a little bit. I was not one of those people at all. You know, that was it. Just a little tweak of the calf. But it was good to be able to see our guys at OTAs. Everybody was present. Everybody was out there working. And I think the biggest takeaway that I had from OTAs was that it looked like everybody was having fun. I think that's a big deal. When you're having fun, when you're out there playing with the boys and doing the things that you want to do, that's a big deal. A lot of people not a lot of people right? It's one of those things where I like seeing my guys out there having a good time, playing the game that they love and enjoying themselves, because ultimately that's what matters. When you're having fun, you're winning. When you're winning, you're having fun, and it goes hand in hand. How many stories have we heard of like these New England Patriots teams that they weren't having fun together? They weren't enjoying playing with each other and doing all of these things. And yeah, they were still winning games, but it wasn't a good environment to be around. And then you contrast that with some other stories and some other places where they were having fun. They're having a blast. Kansas City is one of those places where they're just having a good time. And those are the places they're having sustained success. And so I like seeing that in-house. And I think another big, really important thing that I'm going to be taking away and I'm going to be putting in my intro monologue is the fact that Joe Douglas is a mastermind when it comes to the NFL draft. Nobody knows what Joe Douglas is going to do. And Flight 23 Ascension, Episode 2, I think put that into perspective more than anything that we've seen, anything that we've been able to find or anything like that. Joe Douglas sticks to his guns, sticks to his board, sticks to his and his team's evaluation of players, and does not care about what anybody else says, does, believes, or anything. He knows what he has in-house. He knows the players that he has in the building. He knows the potential of this team, and he's not going to let the media or the rest of the world sway his decision. And we got some really interesting tidbits. Outside of me, nobody was talking about Michael Mayer to the Jets. I talked about it. I said it a couple of times. You have to at least have a conversation about Michael Mayer. And the New York Jets not only had that conversation, but they were ready to take him if the New England Patriots took Will McDonald. And that's a big deal. If the New England Patriots or nobody came up to get Broderick Jones at 14 and Will McDonald was off the board, if Will McDonald was the pick, I totally believe that the New York Jets were going to take that 100%. I believe that they were going to take Michael Mayer, and I would have loved that pick. Now, we would have had a super stacked tight end room, right? We would have been 4 deep at that tight end position, like legitimately. But Nathaniel Hackett loves his tight ends. We're going to see a lot of 3 tight end sets in the run game and in the red zone and in that kind of aspect. And when we're backed up into our own 20-yard line to create those holes for Breece Hall, Israel Abanikanda, Michael Carter, Bam Knight, that stuff matters, and we're going to see that from the New York Jets. And that's awesome. And then Broderick Jones. And not only that, he was so confident in his board and being able to predict other people's intentions, he literally came out and said, I bet somebody trades up to New England to get Broderick Jones in front of us, and I bet it's Pittsburgh. And what happens? Pittsburgh trades up. Everybody, it's awesome, man. It's just, I love seeing that. I love it when your general manager, one, is just the smartest guy in the room. I love it when I don't know. I don't even know what else to say. Joe Douglas, when he walks into a room of GMs, is the smartest GM in the room, in my opinion. I don't know of a GM out there. There's a couple of them, right, that are really good GMs. I don't know of a GM out there right now that's doing a better job. Let me take that back. Howie Roseman's probably the smartest guy when he walks into a room with that team that he built in Philly. That being said, it's just in Joe Douglas we trust, man. In Joe Douglas we trust. Let's say hi to some people in the chat. Hey, Eddie. Hey, buddy. What's up, man? How are you? Harlan in the house. Thank you, Hip. Wild Wave in the house. Xavier Garcia. It's crazy people be tripping over minor injuries. Like, these aren't a common occurrence. Dude, and the biggest part for me, Xavier, is that these are minor injuries that are like 4 months away from the regular season. We're in May. Like, dude tweaked his calf. He was still walking around. Like, calm down. Adam S. in the house. JD for King. Totally, yep. Dark Soldier in the house. What's going on, man? Harlan Abraham, we should be deep at tight end, not just two. Totally agree. Totally agree. It's about time one of you guys went live. Lol. Dude, I've been fighting with YouTube to go live. YouTube's got to figure out a better system for their live stuff, because I've been fighting with YouTube to try to get live, to try to get going. Had a previous stream. It wasn't working. Blah. It was a whole thing, man. It was a whole thing. Give me a second. And JD is top 5 at worst, probably higher. I agree, man. Like, if we're looking at full roster constructions and ranking the general managers, let's be honest here. And I'm talking about full roster construction, not just one side of the ball. Right? Full roster construction. Howie Roseman, he has built the best roster in football. I'll put the Chiefs on there just because you drafted Patrick Mahomes, right? Like, you get bonus points for that. Like, you knew about Patrick Mahomes. And their general manager isn't even the guy who drafted Patrick Mahomes. He was the assistant general manager who drafted Patrick Mahomes. But I'll give him credit there, right? So there's that. Now let's keep going. What rosters are more complete than the New York Jets right now that you would give credit to? At worst, I think Joe Douglas is 3. Because not only do we have the potential to have an elite offense, yeah, we've got some holes on the offensive side of the ball. You know who I'm going to put up on this list? Not higher than Joe Douglas, but he's probably 4 or 5. Don't know his name, but the general manager of the Miami Dolphins. Because they've done a lot of really interesting things. Massive holes on the offensive line, but he's been trying to address it. Teron Armstead last year, different pieces and trying to go there. But they had one of the worst defenses last year. What did they do to address that? Brought in elite defensive coordinator, brought in an elite linebacker, traded for what they believed, and incorrectly, is an elite edge rusher, traded for a top 5 cornerback in the NFL, and they're doing their part to try to really build that team. So I totally believe at worst, he's 3, in my opinion. At worst, he's 3. I'm convinced they got dressed up to do that scene because we somehow have a clairvoyant as a GM. Dude, after seeing that scene, how is it that you press charges? He's a psychic. He's a psychic. I want a full-blown investigation. Can't have that. That was cool to watch him work. JD is a smart mother effer. He's built a beautiful thing here. I totally agree, K. Eddie. Totally agree. I love the idea of being able to get those glimpses into the draft room. I love being able to hear those conversations, how those meetings happen. Flight is one of my favorite things to watch because of that aspect. Getting that deep dive and that understanding at a much deeper level of what the New York Jets or what NFL GMs and all of those things do and how those conversations happen and how everybody's involved, man. It's not just your head scout. It's your local area scouts. It's your defensive line coaches and your offensive line coaches and, assistants, and then it's Joe Douglas, it's Rex. Everybody has their opinion on the guys. And then they get into the meeting, they read off their notes, and then they have that conversation. And I love that part of the breakdown and that understanding of like, I want everybody to have different opinions. I want everybody to go out and do their own research. I want everybody, and we're not going to take anybody's word over anybody else's. Yeah, we have the guy who was there, talk to him, talk to his coaches. Here, he's going to have some insight. But so are these guys. They've been around the NFL. They know who they can talk to. I love that aspect of it. Jets might have some holes on the team, but so does everybody else. Absolutely. Absolutely. Denver's roster is okay. Yeah, but they traded for Russell Wilson, and unless the magic that is Sean Payton can turn him around, that's not a good trade. Quick question. Do you think if Mike Evans becomes available, do we try for it or no? Look, I'd love to go after a guy like Mike Evans. Mike Evans is a legitimate weapon is the best word that I can find for it. Like a serious weapon. And adding him to this team would be an absolute, like, we would be one of the best wide receiver rooms in the NFL. I think hands down. I think we would only be behind the Miami Dolphins and the Cincinnati Bengals. I think we would have the number 3 wide receiver room if you add Mike Evans to that team, to that wide receiver room. And the assumption there would be that Corey Davis is gone, right? You're not going to have 3 $10 million wide receivers on your roster. It's just not how that works, right? But the only way, Xavier, that something like that could happen, in my opinion, let me go look at his contract, would be if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers cut him. Now, the reality is they have no incentive to cut him, like at all. There's no reason for the Buccaneers to get rid of him. In reality, they can't. They're underneath. They have negative. They have $471,000 in cap space. You know, there would be no saving. Like if they cut him. Now, they could do a post-June 1st designation and save $14.5 million, but he's on the last year of his deal anyway. It's hard for me to see him becoming available, but if he does, he's still a really damn good wide receiver, even at 30 years old. I would be interested in him. If he would be interested in coming to the New York Jets, I would bring him here. But, like, yeah, I think that's a very, very, again, we can always retool. We can always add weapons. You don't stop when your rooms are good. So, of course you go after Mike Evans. He's one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. What more can I say about that? Flight is just an 8-episode, 45-minute each hype video. Tell me I'm wrong. You're not wrong. Yo, you're not wrong, and I'm here for it. I'm here for the hype video. You can sum up that whole episode in one word. Yeah, you're not wrong. Hawk in the house. I think our wide receiver room is good. We have Garrett, Lazard, and McCole, who is a nasty starting 3. McCole is not a starting 3. Corey Davis is wide receiver 3. With Corey Davis, Cobb, and Mims backing them up. That's a stellar room. We're going to run a lot, and we have tight ends. I agree, Hawk. I think the part where we disagree is McCole Hardman is not going to be starting over. He is not going. Nope. Crap. Give me a second. No. There it is. McCole is not going to be starting over Corey Davis at all. Corey Davis is probably the second best wide receiver that we have on this football team. Like, really, really easily. I don't even think that it's close. The problem is his availability. That's what pushes him down to wide receiver 3. Alan Lazard has played 15 games in the last 3 seasons. I mean, he's played 15 games each of the last 3 seasons, which means he's available. Which means he's on the field more often than he's not. I don't know if Corey Davis has played a combined 15 games in the last 2 seasons. And that's that. And McCole Hardman is also coming off of injury, but when you're looking at pure wide receiver talent, Corey Davis is one of the better wide receivers in the room. The problem is I don't know what it is about ball security. He can't hold on to the ball. It's a problem. And then the other thing has to be the fact that he's just injury prone. And then when you're looking, again, when you're looking at pure wide receiver skill set, Hawk, got to take into consideration Corey Davis is the better route runner. He's the bigger and stronger guy. He has more positional flexibility, being able to play the X, being able to play the Z, playing underneath, playing over the top. He provides more to this team than he does than what McCole Hardman is. McCole Hardman right now is a go guy. Maybe you can put him in the slot, but I wouldn't really trust that. I would put him in the Z, and he gets go routes. But that's that. That's me. That's just me. Ant Jets in the house. What's going on? I love Davis as a number 2. I mean, if he could stay healthy, I would feel comfortable saying that he would be my number 2, but I can't. And the way that I look at it is I don't want to give reps to a guy that I feel like is going to miss time. Corey Davis plays for 6 games and then gets injured. Now, how much of that was him not wanting to put his body on the line because it's Zach Wilson out there or because it's Mike White out there? Now, that would be a really crappy thing if that was the case and if that was the reality. How much would he be more willing to power through an injury for a guy like, Aaron Rodgers to be out on the field? I don't know. These are questions that you got to ask, but yeah. Hawk, I think McCole is going to get a boost in reps this year, and Corey is going to be used like Quan, limited role to keep him healthy while the young guys take the brunt of the reps, in my opinion. Here's the problem. Well, you would have to do the same thing with McCole Hardman. McCole Hardman has had injuries all of this last 3 seasons, right? You bank on McCole Hardman's upside, obviously, because he's got that game-breaking speed, but dude missed the playoffs last year just coming off of a surgery. The same things that you're saying about McCole can be said about Corey Davis, and the same things that you're saying about Corey Davis can be said about McCole. So it's an interesting conversation to have. And the reality is, Quan's limited role was not to keep him healthy. It was because Quan Alexander at linebacker was not and is not as good as Michael Carter II in the slot. Michael Carter II in the slot is a top 15 corner in the NFL. Period. And I'm not talking about just slot corners. I'm talking about corners. In the NFL, Michael Carter II is that good. And when you can have a top 15 player at their position, or you can have kind of good linebacker, I'm going to take Michael Carter every single rep. And that is why Quan got limited reps. And that is why Quan's probably not going to come back to this team, is because keeping Michael Carter on the field is way more important than Quan Alexander. And that's just it. That's it. I agree that CD is the second best wide receiver in the team. He is our best run blocker. I don't think he's our best run blocker. We got Lazard. Lazard is a dog in the run game. But yeah, he's our second best wide receiver right now. I don't agree with this. I don't think that Mims is a better run blocker. I don't agree with this. I love MC2, but respectfully, no, he isn't. Name 15 cornerbacks that are better than him. Go. Name 15 cornerbacks that are better than him. And if you look at any of the places that rank players by position and all of those things, they'll all come up to the same stat line. Like, this isn't me just pulling things out of my butt here. PFF, and again, take PFF with a grain of salt, has Michael Carter ranked 18th. 18th amongst all cornerbacks. 18th. There's not, again, what he does in the slot and his utilization. Remember that Michael Carter is playing like 70% of the snaps. And the biggest thing is that Michael Carter took a massive jump from last year to this year. Massive in terms of coverage and locking guys down and doing all of those things. But again, I told you to take PFF with a grain of salt. I'm not using PFF as the end all be all. I'm just saying PFF has an 18th. That's 3 off a top 15. I have him as the 15th best corner in the NFL. So eat that. And how do you know that 18th isn't 15? Okay? You could do some weird math where 18 equals 15. 2 plus 2 equals 4 is racist now. Why can't 18 equal 15, Hawk? 1 to 10 chance of getting to the Super Bowl. I'm not sure what that means. Agreed. MC2 is the top 15. I hope we can keep him next year, but he may be expensive. I don't know. We'll see. If he's compared to other slot corners, he's what? The second best slot corner in the NFL? Best slot corner. He's one of the top slot guys in the NFL. Easily. Right? Just saying. Remind you of Ray Mickens? Maybe. Very similar builds. Very similar play styles. I see it. I see it. PFF, boo. PFF is a great resource if you want stats and stats only. Because they got some of the best. You know? They got some of the best stat keepers and all that stuff. But their grades, yeah, you're right. The grades are sometimes doo-doo. I only use their grades when they help me back up a point. Like Sauce Gardner being the best corner in the NFL. Easily, hands down. Are you asking me to predict, like, in a 1 to 10% chance of getting to the Super Bowl? So, I don't know. I think it's higher than 10%. Yeah. Totally agree, Red John. Totally agree. I mean, his talent level, he would have started on any other team. But was the best nickel I've seen. Yeah, man. I agreed. I had to break it down in my head a little bit, and yeah. I think it's more than a 10% chance that we make the Super Bowl. I think it's closer to the middle teens. High-end middle teens is probably what I would put in our percentage. 18-19% chance to make the Super Bowl. That's probably where I would put it. Aunt Jet said it perfectly here. Let me get this one up. 15 to 20%. I would put it more. I would put it more in the, 16 to 19%, like 18, 19%, 18.5% is the way that I put it on there. There are only 2 teams in the AFC that I am legitimately worried about when it comes to stopping on the way to the playoffs or stopping on the way to the Super Bowl, and that is the Kansas City Chiefs and the Miami Dolphins. And that's it. Those are the only 2 teams that I'm worried about. And okay, I'll split 2 teams in half because it's still 2 teams. But the second team is going to be half of one team, right? Of 2. Hello? I need someone to say something. Okay, I'm back. I fixed it. Someone attempt to type the word supercalifragilisticexpialidocious in chat if I'm back. I don't believe you. Somebody do it. Did I fix it? Ooh, I think I fixed it. I think I figured it out. Okay, cool. Seems like we're back. Seems like we fixed it. Cool. Awesome. Okay. Hey, J Claw's in the house. Thank you. Love you. Thank you so much. Okay. So there's 2 teams, right? It is thank you, Dark Soldier. It is the Kansas City Chiefs because as long as Patrick Mahomes is under center there, I am never not going to be worried about Patrick Mahomes. That's the reality of the situation. Patrick Mahomes is, in my opinion, the best quarterback in football. I don't think that it's close. And when you've got a guy that's that good playing on your football team, it makes it harder for everybody else to get their job done and to do the things that they need. And so Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs always. And then the other two teams are going to be halves. They're two halves, but they combine to make one team. And that is the Miami Dolphins if Tua stays healthy. Because that team with Tua Tagovailoa, especially when you input the fact that they're adding Vic Fangio, they added that linebacker from Tennessee, I forget his name. They added, while it is the blotted, rotting corpse of Jalen Ramsey, it is still Jalen Ramsey. And Vic Fangio is there, like that can be a problem. But that's a kind of a projection, so that's why they're only 0.5% of the things that I'm worried about. The other 0.5 is the offense of the Cincinnati Bengals. That's it. Zero faith in their defense to stop our offense. They're not going to be able to do it. It's a matter of, can our defense stop their offense? I think that they can, but it's still worth an honorable mention. So the Dolphins and the Bengals, they are combined to be the second team that I'm worried about, and then the Patrick Mahomes. And so that's why I would put it at that 18, 19% chance to do it, because there's a bunch of teams that make it. There's a bunch of things and a bunch of teams that go on and make the playoffs, and any given Sunday, any given team can win. Look at the Jets versus the Cleveland Browns in week 2. They had us at a 99.999999 repeating chance to lose that game. We were able to come back and win that game, right? How many times have the Chargers led a game? Weren't they like up 23 or 28 points against the Jaguars and they choked that game away? Again, any team on any given Sunday can win, and whether or not you want to accept it or believe it, we are still a really, really young team. So that's that. Boom. Hope that answers that question. We are the best team in the AFC East. The Bills had trouble with us even without Rodgers and all the improvements. That makes us one of the 4 best teams in the AFC right there. Look, I totally agree. Totally agree. I think that we are right now, if I had to rank it, probably the 2nd or 3rd best team in the AFC as a whole. That being said, that doesn't mean that we walk to the playoffs, that we walk to the Super Bowl. We do have a really tough schedule. We have to play Kansas City. We have to play the Eagles. You know what I mean? We have these good things. We have these teams that we have to play. And so, yeah. The only NFC team that's competition is the Eagles. I will forever and always put my faith in the San Francisco 40 Shanahans. As long as Kyle Shanahan is the head coach of the San Francisco 49ers, I will believe in the San Francisco 49ers. I do not care who's under center. I don't care. Dude, they could put me under center. They could put Billy under center. They could put my son, who is about to be 1 year old next year. Like, I don't care who it is. Literally. Anybody's under center. Kyle Shanahan's your head coach. I got them getting 10 wins easily. It's the way that I look at it, man. Harlan makes a great point. No, hey, Xavier. They don't even got that, bro. They don't even got that. Who's taking Jalen Ramsey over Sauce Gardner right now? That isn't a Dolphins fan. Or a Texans fan because they're still trying to defend the taking of the other guy. Right? Those are the only 2 fan bases that are anti-Sauce. Who's taking literally any... You know what? Broncos fans might take Patrick Surtain over Sauce Gardner, and I get it. Patrick Surtain, in my opinion, 2nd best corner in all of football. 2nd best, behind Sauce Gardner. So outside of those 3 fan bases, who's taking Sauce? Who's taking Ramsey over Sauce or anybody over Sauce right now at the cornerback position? I had this conversation on last week's live stream. I'm not taking anybody over Sauce. So CB1s, Sauce wins that easy. Let's talk CB2. Xavier Howard is a bum. Bum. Made the Pro Bowl last year for no reason, just because it's a popularity contest. It's absolutely abysmal. He played horrendous, and he hasn't been good in quite some time. The expectation that he's going to come back and do something, I get it, right? There was a point in time where Xavier Howard was kind of good. That being said, he's not better than DJ Reed, who was a top 10 cornerback in last year, period. And then let's talk about slot corner. We had this conversation earlier with Hawk. 18 equals 15, according to PFF, because I have Michael Carter II as the top 15 corner in the NFL. Dude, our cornerback room is better in everything. Name recognition and the play on the field, hands down. It's not even close. It's not even close. Not even close. You could be Stephen Hawking under center and at least make the playoffs on the Niners. Dude, you're not wrong. Xavier Garcia. That's so incredibly messed up, but yeah. Yeah. Ronald Perry. DeAndre Hopkins is a free agent. Yes, he is. Very interesting. Don't expect the Jets to be in on this one. He seems to be in search of another big payday. The New York Jets are not the team to give him that payday. And if he is in search of another big payday, that's good for the New York Jets because that means that he's probably not going to the Buffalo Bills. That would be the one place that I would not want him to go to, is the Buffalo Bills. Would I love D-Hop on this team? Absolutely. If you're telling me that I can replace the $10 million going to Corey Davis to $10 million going to DeAndre Hopkins, would have loved that. Would have loved that. Absolutely. But dude's trying to get paid. If you don't want a ring, dude, I don't want you in my locker room. Easy breezy, beautiful cover girls. I wouldn't say we don't need D-Hop. I would like him. I would like him. 49ers don't belong on the field with us. We're at least 2 TDs better in that game. Dude, that defense. They get after it. That defense. I'm never going to doubt the 49ers. I love the 49ers. He will join the Chiefs on a discount. I said it in my video, man. Watch out. I think Indianapolis might be a sneaky place to see him go there. You know, he would be a number 1 wide receiver there. They've got Anthony Richardson, rookie quarterback that needs a number 1 wide receiver. Like, he doesn't have a weapon that he can throw to. Shane Steichen knows how to develop that thing. Jonathan Taylor. And it's a really weak AFC South division. I think that makes a ton of sense. I think that would be a sneaky place to watch out. I know that it's not on his list or anything, but watch out because that might be it. With what money? This is a D-Hop. With what money, Dart? The Bills right now are negative $1 million over the cap. They don't have the money at all. And the Chiefs are $2 million over the cap. Again, where are they going to fit them in? Does it make a ton of sense? You know? So, I'm telling you, man, the Colts, they have $16 million in cap space. That could literally all go to D-Hop. And he could get paid. He could get paid to go there. You know? The Lions, that's another team. Maybe the Lions. So. Would he reunite with Bill O'Brien in New England? Is that something that he would want to do? I don't know. I don't know about their relationship there. Was the guy that traded him. It's going to end up in Baltimore. Another interesting one. Baltimore has about $10 million in cap space. Going to play with Lamar might be something that he'd be interested in doing. Lamar wasn't on his list of quarterbacks, though. So, apparently, there's some smoke about D-Hop to the Panthers. Ooh, I'd like that move a lot. They got $20 million in cap space. They could sign him. They could give him a big money. The only way the Chiefs will get D-Hop is if we extend Chris Jones, which opens up $16 million. Yeah, Chiefs Live says it perfectly. Again, they don't have the money to get DeAndre Hopkins. And the reality is, as long as Patrick Mahomes is under center, you don't necessarily need DeAndre Hopkins. You have to, if you're the Kansas City Chiefs, believe in the best offensive mind that this sport has probably ever seen since Bill Walsh. It's the reality, right? And Andy Reid. Kadarius Toney looked good in that playoff run. And they've got other wide receivers in that room that you got to look at, and you got to go, okay, it's time to step up. They just drafted Rashee Rice, who a lot of people had like really rated highly. What is Sky Moore? Can Marcus Valdez-Scantling take a step up from what he had last year? You know, how much of Jerick McKinnon and Isaiah Pacheco and LaMichael Pirine in that running back room? Oh, yeah, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I forgot that he exists. How much of that can help alleviate some of the need there? And then let's not forget that last year Patrick Mahomes was running for his life, and they just went out and they added new offensive tackles in Jawan Taylor. And who's the other guy? Chiefs Live, help me out. Who's the new right tackle that you guys brought in? From the Bucks. Donovan Smith. Got it. So it's a little bit of a thing there. You know what I mean? And the Jets, as of right now, Chiefs Live have $3 million in cap space, but that is because the Carl Lawson restructure hasn't officially gone through yet. But I think effectively we have $16 million in cap space. I think that's what we have right now, or $19 million in cap space. I don't remember the exact number, but it's somewhere along those lines. I can see him going to Cleveland and making them relevant. That's an interesting matchup there, going to Cleveland. Now, the conversation, again, when you look at the Browns is, one, they don't have a ton of money that they would be able to give him, so they would have to really do some cap shenaniganery to get them there. And then when you look at their wide receiver room, it's a pretty, I don't want to say, it's a relatively deep room, right? When you look at the wide receiver room, depending on whether or not you believe in these guys. Elijah Moore, Amari Cooper, they've got, what's his name? Marquise Goodwin. They've got some guys, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Anthony Schwartz. I'm a big believer in Anthony Schwartz. I think he's going to have a big year. So there's some conversations, at least, that can be had about, is that room a little bit too crowded? They did just draft Cedric Tillman, another guy that I was kind of high on. You know, I liked him a lot. So there's a conversation to be had there about him possibly going to Cleveland. That makes a ton of sense. I like this. I would like that matchup for them. And he would get to meet up with his old quarterback, right? That the last quarterback that he had really good seasons with was what's his name, and Bloom, Deshaun Watson. And yeah. When the Jets beat KC in Week 4, we will be the odds-on favorite to win the Super Bowl from that point forward. I don't agree with this. I do think that we can beat the Chiefs, absolutely. But as long as the Philadelphia Eagles exist, I think they're going to give them the favorite. That's just that. I have more faith in Calvin Ridley returning to form than Deshaun Watson right now. Totally agree. Yo, I do too. Makes a ton of sense. That division is garbage. They won 7 games last year. And what's the best way to help your 2-foot quarterback? Get a guy who's 9 feet tall. I'm just saying. We're going to know who the alpha is Week 4. Love this. D-Hop to the Jets, his best option. We have a crowded wide receiver room. And it depends on what you believe best is, Matthew Smith, right? Is it best for, getting a ring? Probably. Actually, Kansas City's probably best, right, for getting a ring. But if that's what he wants, right? Is that what he wants? I'm just saying. Can you imagine Jonathan Mingo, Terrence Marshall, Adam Thielen, Laviska Shenault, and D-Hop? Take Mingo off of that list because I don't believe in Mingo, sorry. But yeah, you're not wrong. Marshall Jr., Thielen. Don't forget that they also got DJ Chark. They got DJ. They brought him in this offseason. It'd be a scary wide receiver room, man. You're looking at DJ Chark, Adam Thielen. Shi Smith is still there. Jesus Christ. Terrace Marshall Jr. A lot of interesting pieces there. A lot of interesting pieces. I wasn't a big Mingo guy. Personally. Who are the kick/punt returners if McCole is coming off of injury? McCole Hardman, and then Israel Abanikanda, and then Bam Knight. In that order. It's probably who you're looking at it. You don't need to return punts or kicks anymore, right? Makes no sense to return kicks. Just don't do it. At all. Just never return kicks for kick returns. Just don't do it. There's no point. For punt returns, it's McCole Hardman, Israel Abanikanda, Bam Knight. In that order. We haven't faced Tua yet. What are the chances our pass rush can make Tua slip up so much he turns into Skylar Thompson? Really high, especially with that offensive line. You know? That's the biggest thing is going to be our defensive line versus their offensive line when it comes to their matchups. Because everything else matches up and stacks up really right. We got great cornerbacks. They got great wide receivers. You know, they're not that good in the run game in Miami, which is good because we're not that good at stopping the run. So the matchup that's going to decide what's going to happen in that game is going to be their offensive line versus our defensive line. Because I don't think their defense is going to be able to stop our offense, like at all. I don't believe in that pass rush versus our offensive line. I don't believe in that linebacker core. I especially don't believe in that linebacker core versus our running back room. And I don't believe that our wide receiver room is going to get stopped by their cornerback room. Just period. Don't believe it at all. So with all of that being said, what's going to decide that game is can our defensive line create the pressure? Because Tua works when he can get the ball out of his hand quickly and in rhythm to his wide receivers. If we can get the wide receivers out of rhythm, which I believe that we're going to do, and then effectively get the pass rush home, that's the key. Because if he can just sit there and wait for the wide receivers to get back into rhythm, he's going to hit them. He's relatively accurate. But I have more faith in our defensive line because that offensive line of Miami sucks. So, yeah. McCole had surgery this offseason. Yes, he did. Yes, we know D-Hop doesn't want to be a Jet, and Jets fan won't be losing any sleep over it. Totally agree, Ronald Perry. One more concussion, and Tua is going to be playing shuffleboard at a retirement community in Florida. I think he should have retired, man. Honestly. Him coming back, Him coming back is a problem. It's a problem. Yeah. Still can't believe DJ got snubbed for Howard. I'm coming off back surgery and feel like I could have played better. Bro, he was garbage last year. The thing that proved to me that the Pro Bowl is an absolute joke is that Tyler Huntley made the Pro Bowl. And with that, I'm going to take a bite of my dinner. I agree, Harlan. The Jets put 40 against the Finns defense with Wilson. The Jets will not allow Tua to score more than 30. I don't disagree, but their defense got better. Miami's defense did get better. That's a thing that we can't not discount. Adding Jalen Ramsey improves that cornerback room. Now, do I think Jalen Ramsey is that god? No. But he is still an upgrade of what they had last year. The assumption that Xavier Howard is going to play outside corner again, I'm just saying. I don't disagree with you, Dark Soldier. I agree. Our offense did get much better, but so did their defense. They got much better too. It's a two-way street, right? I think we should be able to sweep our division. We should be 6-0 in the division. But the games are played on Sunday and Mondays and Thursdays. And Fridays, apparently now. The games are played. on those days. And that matters a lot. So, but Dark, let me ask you the same question. I'm going to go back to some of these other comments. How much of that team was down in the dumps because they were playing Skylar Thompson? Because they had already lost Tua and we knocked out Teddy Bridgewater. Dude, momentum matters. Look, do I think that we should beat the Miami Dolphins? Absolutely. Easily. Like we should. But games are played on Sunday. We got better, but so did they. Yes. Adding Aaron Rodgers to our offense is going to be a big upgrade. But that whole defense has changed. Whole defense. New defensive coordinator. Brand new players in a new scheme that is built for their skill set. Aaron Rodgers in a new town with all of these things. And if Tua is healthy, that's a problem. But, like I said, we should beat them. But I'm not going to sit here and say that it's going to be easy. They're a problem. We should have worried about them. There was concerns about Mingo separating, but I think bad QB play definitely contributed to that. Man, the problems that I had with Mingo had nothing to do with his, at the catch point, or it's all about how he runs routes, his release, and the things that are purely on him as a wide receiver. I wasn't a big fan of Now, Patrick Mahomes is throwing you the ball, probably a 1,000-yard wide receiver, right? I could be a 1,000-yard wide receiver with Mahomes throwing to me, but yeah. The Pats' defense got better. Gonzalez and Mapu are going to be real pains. Yeah, they also did get better. And the other thing is that their offense is going to inherently get better too, not because of any personnel changes that they've made or anybody that they've added, but more because they actually have an offensive coordinator. That's it. They have a legitimate offensive mind calling plays and not a disgraced defensive coordinator and special teams coordinator calling plays on offense. That matters. So Gonzalez and Judon and Uche, they're going to have a serious defense. I'm not worried about New England, though, because I don't think that they're going to be able to score points at all. By week 4, we will have played the Bills, the Cowboys, and the Chiefs. If we are 4-0, there will be denying who the alpha team is. The Philadelphia Eagles. If we're 4-0 by week 4, and if we get to week 6 and we beat the Philadelphia Eagles, I'm going to be a pain in every NFL team's fan base's ass all year. I am going to be so obnoxious to anybody who's not a Jets fan because I'm not going to let them get a word in edgewise. I'm just not going to let them say anything at all. At all. I'm going to be so annoying. Except for you, Chiefs Live. You're great. I love you. But everybody else, they're going to get the gabagool. I'm going to be so infuriatingly. I'm going to wear my Aaron Rodgers jersey everywhere. My Aaron Rodgers jersey's back there. I got it. It came in. It's so fresh. I'm going to wear it after I eat my dinner. I haven't eaten today. This is my meal I've had. My first meal I've had all day. And so I am starving, but I got to go live. Yeah. Love it. Will Rodgers age like fine wine or go kaput? It doesn't really matter. Because the rest of the team, he's accurate. That's the biggest thing, right? He's accurate, so the rest of the team is going to do the work around him. Tigo, wide receiver 1. I need you to explain this, Chiefs Live. Who's wide receiver 1? For the Chiefs? For the Jets? Wide receiver 1 in all of football? What do you want to know? For the Jets, it's Garrett Wilson, right? In my opinion. Probably. If I had to guess who wide receiver 1 for the Chiefs is, probably Kadarius Toney. In my opinion, I think he's the best wide receiver. Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. I'd be wide receiver 1 out there, dude. 100% Chiefs Live. 100%. You put me out there, dude, I'll stutter step on a slot corner and the ball will be right here because Patrick Mahomes is that accurate. I'd be good. Here's what it is, Chiefs Live. I'd be good for 3.5 yards every play. Every play. I could make a corner miss, right? Every play, I'm good for 3.5 yards. A little boom, cut in real quick. If he can put the ball out here, right? If he can put the ball out in front of me, I can get it. I got strong hands. I got it. Diving catch. I will have 0 yards after the catch. But you need a short down and distance. You put me in the slot so that they can't be up on me. 3 yards every time. 3 yards every time. Imagine we get MVP Rodgers and this roster. Lights out. Done. Easy. I'll buy the Super Bowl ring right now. Where do I order? Rodgers has taken his team to 2 NFC Championships games in the last 3 years. I'd say he's aging just fine. Totally agree. You're going to line up 5 yards back. This isn't the Canadian Football Leagues, bro. This ain't the Canadian Football League. I'm telling you, Patrick Mahomes is my quarterback. I get 3.5 yards guaranteed. Guaranteed. Let me get back into shape, right? Because I am out of shape. I ain't going to sit here and lie. Give me an off season. Get me with a dietitian and a nutritionist, right? And put me in the slot. Bro, I'd be good for 4 catches a game, 8 or 9 snaps. I'm wide receiver 6 here, right? 8 or 9 snaps. 10 snaps a game. There's like, you maybe get 60, right? For a whole offense. 10 snaps a game in the red zone. I'm good for 3.5 yards every time. Hands down every time. 3.5 yards. You get second and goal. Touchdown. I'd be a touchdown machine. Touchdown machine. Remember Adam Thielen a couple of years ago? He was just a red zone target. That's what I would be. I'd look like I'd be running through molasses, just like Adam Thielen does look like. Boom. Line me up at the slot. Let me cut in right between the slot corner and the linebacker. That's going to be, I have one route. I got one route, and it's a slant. It's a 4-yard slant. 3-yard slant. But he's got to hit me. We would work on this, right? I'd invite him over to dinner. We'd play with my kid. We watch some tape. But we would work on the timing. 3 yards. Boom, boom, stutter step, cut in. If he hits me, done. Oh, but also, if you hit the reverse jet sweep, I was a quarterback in high school. I'll hit a tight end. Hell, I'll throw a touchdown pass to Patrick Mahomes. Sign me up. Where's the scouts calling? 5'10 and a half, 200 pounds right now. That's where I'm at. Best believe I'm gassing myself up, dude. I'm sorry. It can't be that hard to catch passes from Patrick Mahomes. Can't be that hard. Dude's the best quarterback we've ever seen. Like, he made Juju Smith-Schuster get wide receiver 1 money again. Like, why do people still believe in Juju? He's not that guy. New England paid him, gave him the bag because for some reason people can't put together Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in football. Of course, Juju Smith-Schuster looks like a god. Oh, yeah. You would take a step and wonder how you got knocked back 4 yards. Yo, it ain't like that. J. Claus, put some respect on me. I was in the Navy. I can handle a jab at the line. It ain't that complicated. Like I said, you get me into a weight room, I'm not so out of shape that I can't handle a jab, dude, from a corner, especially a slot corner. These boys are going to be my height. We're going to be matching on the same level playing field. Nah, I got it. Easy. I got it. I need you to be on my side, okay? In this imaginary world where for some reason the Kansas City Chiefs give a guy at 27 his first shot in the NFL who hasn't played football in over a decade and would be playing out of position because the last time I played football I was a quarterback. I'm just saying. I got it. I got 3.5 yards. I'd be the most consistent wide receiver in the NFL. I wouldn't put up insane numbers, but it would be 4 catches a game, 15 yards a game, 2 touchdowns. Every game. Every game. And in the Super Bowl, Billy, be cutting in, right, all year. 3-yard stutter step cut in. Come to the Super Bowl. Everyone's going to see, 60 plays all year. 3 steps stutter, cut in. Super Bowl, game time. Game-winning touchdowns, stutter step, I'm going to cut out for the game-winning touchdown pass. I'm just saying, dude. Easy. How did we get here? How did we get here? What am I even talking about? Next, Rudy? I don't know if I could get... Here's the funny part, right? I love this conversation. I actually want to know what your guys' opinion is on this. Do you think that a regular person could get 1 yard in the NFL, like as a running back? In all seriousness, right? I'm not getting 3.5 yards as if. Never going to happen, right? But you put me at a running back. You think I could get 1 yard? Put me behind the Philadelphia Eagles offensive line. For some reason, they're not quarterback sneaking it. It's 3rd and 1. They need 1 yard. You think I could get 1 yard? I'm asking you guys. I have no idea. I feel like if the blocking is right, obviously anybody can get a yard. But I mean, like, you got to go and you got to hit the ass of a center, right? And you got to push to get that yard. The hole didn't come up, but they also didn't break through. That's an interesting question, man. What's for dinner? Rice, beans, and chicken cutlets. Al Bundy scored 4 touchdowns in 1 game. Love it. What happens in the offseason, right? Nothing to talk about. There's no news. So now we're going over the hypothetical situation. What happens if T goes wide receiver 6? What happens if T is a freaking running back who needs to get 1 yards? A little play action, it can work. But no, it can't be play action. It's a handoff, right? It has to be. It's a halfback draw. I'm running between the guard, running between the tackles. I'm just saying, man. Now you run a jet sweep reverse where the wide receiver's got to throw a touchdown. I think I could throw a touchdown in the NFL. I don't think I could be an NFL quarterback. Don't get me wrong. But you came down. You need 1 play. I think I could throw a touchdown in the NFL. Here's how it would have to work, though. Here's the exact play. It would have to be a play-action crossers play with levels and a tight end in the flat on the other side. I could do that. You put me in the perfect scenario, okay? It's man coverage. Okay? It's got to be man covered. It's got to be a play-action pass, and you got to get me rolling out of the pocket. I'm not a pocket passer. I was never a pocket passer. I was a guy on the move. I could throw on the run. That's my skill set. Right? So you play action, roll me out to the right, bring the offensive line with me. Let's move the pocket, and let's get these wide receivers crossing over the middle of the field at levels. Bro, I hit one of those guys. Now, we got to have elite wide receivers. Got to have elite wide receivers out there, right? I'm talking about, I want Garrett Wilson. I want Tyreek Hill. I want Justin Jefferson. Those are the 3 wide receivers that are doing the crossing routes, right? Like, that's what we're running. Those are my 3 guys. You get 1 guy running at 5 yards, 1 guy running at 12 yards, and 1 guy running at 20 yards. Dude, I could hit one of those guys. Whoever got the safety. So probably like Garrett Wilson, right? Garrett Wilson in the middle of those 3 routes. I hit him. Well, of course, Ronald Perry. But hey, I used to be a quarterback, right? I still got it. Now, I'm not saying I can run an NFL offense. That's not what I'm saying. That is really, really hard. But if you gave me the perfect scenario, play action crossers against man coverage, I hit a wide receiver. I get you a first down. 2nd and 12, play action crossers. You put Breece Hall in the backfield so that they have to respect the running back. I got it. Me too, Xavier. I miss being part of a team so much. It's one of the things I miss most. Watching Tigo eat is a privilege. Sorry, guys. I haven't eaten today. I'm starving. You gotta let me eat. I'm sorry. High school football was hard enough. I was just too short. If I kept playing, I would have been good. I think. Dude, I was a D1 athlete. A lot of people don't know that. I was a D1 athlete. So what do you guys want to talk about? I'm kind of out of topics. We just spent the last 20 minutes talking about if I could get 1 yard in the NFL. What do you guys want to talk about? What are your questions? Let me know. Yeah, there are 32 of you in here. Where are the questions at? On a scale of 1 to 32, where do you rate the Jets cheerleaders? In comparison like to the other fan bases? I have no idea. I have not seen the flight squad in quite some time. So I don't even know really who's there, what's going on there. You have to assume that they're quite attractive women. So what, like, if assuming 32 is the best, probably like 27. Let's go there. Is that a fair number? No, but I think he makes the practice squad. It's hard to make the wide receiver room right now. K Yeti. I think it's really hard to make the wide receiver room right now. It's really, really stacked. And when you look at guys like, you know, this is a good question. Yeah, no, probably not. And the only reason I say that is I think that there are other guys that are on the team that we have contracts with that I would be more interested in making the team than Jerome Cap. Xavier Gibson, Brownlee got a big contract. Then you have to remember the guys from last year, Malik Taylor. I liked him a lot. You still have Irvin Charles. I like him a lot. Are you ready to give up on a guy like Denzel Mims? Randall Cobb is going to make this team, whether you like it or not. That's going to happen. So, yeah. There's a lot of things there. How many tight ends do you keep on the roster? 4 or 5, depending on what you're going to do with the running backs and where you're going to put Breece Hall. what you're going to do with Breece Hall. If you're starting Breece Hall, and you're not going to put him on the IR, which is what I would do. I would put him on the IR at the beginning of the year. You can take a 5th tight end. You can take a 10th or 11th offensive lineman. But we're going to carry more tight ends than people expect. My expectation is 4, but if Breece Hall is on the IR, I would say 5. And the reason I say 5 is because technically Nick Bawden is listed as a tight end, even though he's a fullback. So, there you go. Who thinks Breece will be 100% by week 1? I don't. Just kind of went on a spiel about that. I don't think he's going to be there. Seriously, we got 6 legitimate wide receivers. It's more, we've got 4 legitimate wide receivers and then 2 question marks. What is Randall Cobb at this age and at this point in his career? And can Denzel Mims finally take that step that we've all been expecting him to make for the last couple of years? Tried finding some highlights on this Cap guy. Couldn't find a single video. Yeah, man, it's hard. It's hard to find tape on these D2 guys. I did the same thing. I tried to find stuff on Cap to try to give people a breakdown on him that wasn't just rehashed words from somebody else. I couldn't find it. Dude, I couldn't even find his school. Couldn't even find his school highlights. Heard Ruck has been balling in OTAs. On fire is what I've been told. Looking like tight end 1 on fire. Like Tyler Conklin might lose his job on fire. That's what I'm getting out of some of the guys that I've been able to connect with that are close to the New York Jets that I can text to find out. Apparently, he is making a legitimate argument to be tight end 2 on this on this roster. Legitimately. And apparently the consensus seems to be that CJ Uzomah is tight end 1. Dude. And apparently Kuntz has been doing good things too. Kuntz has been doing good things. Thinks Mekhi Becton will be healthy at week 8? I do. I do. It's interesting. It's interesting. It's an interesting conversation to have. Javelin Guidry being back, I like that addition a lot, especially with the news of what happened with Brandon Eccles and all that stuff. Makes understanding that move and that all that a lot better. Got any more hypotheticals? I don't know, man. You come up with the hypotheticals, Xavier. I just gave you 3. Can I get 1 yard as a running back? If I was in the slot, I'm a 3.5 yard guy, and I could get 1 play action crossers off in the NFL. I came up with 3. Where's yours? Help me out here, dude. This is a 2-way street. There's not much to talk about right now in the NFL, which is sad. It's really sad. It's crazy. It's crazy. Let me ask this question. I'm going to put a poll. Because I'm actually curious. I'm going to be doing this anyway, so let's keep it on the DL. I'm going to start a poll just to see how many of you guys would be interested. No, that's not what I want to... This is... Boom. There's the poll. Answer the poll. I'm curious. I wasn't going to talk about it on this channel because it's 2 completely different things. They're 2 completely different things. And that doesn't mean that anything's going to happen to this channel at all. But Let's see. I'm curious. And I want you to be honest here. Be honest. Don't stack my feelings. Be as brutally honest here. Yes, no. Tell me what's going on. What do you guys think? Xavier, you think you're fast enough to come around the edge to get a sack? No, I'm not. Not anymore. If I was younger. No, see, I don't think I was. I don't think I ever was. I was like quick and fast, but I was never explosive. That's the one thing that in my game when I was younger that I never was. I never had like explosive speed. My change of direction, really, really good. My top speed, really, really good. I had acceleration issues. It took me a while to get going, you know? It took me a little bit to get there. So, that's that. So, I don't think I could get off the edge and get there. Same thing, I don't think I could cover. I don't think I could play any position on defense. I can't wrap my head about how defenses do their thing. Well, okay. Carmelo, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, Carmelo. Do you want my actual height or the height I lie and tell people that I am to make me feel better? Do you want my Navy height, like the official height, or I was a running back before quarterback. I was a running back. Okay, my actual real Navy, according, like this is what I was listed at the Navy, is 5'10" and 3/8 inches. So like 5'10" and a half, right? But I tell people I'm 5'11". I give me that 5/8. Screw all of you. Hey, Dark Soldier, I got 2.5 inches on that. Come on. 5'11". That's it. I was not a linebacker. Yeah, no, I never played defense a day in my life. A day in my life. To answer this, Dark Soldier, it's probably going to be a lot of like Switch stuff, like Nintendo stuff. Like I got an Xbox. I got a PC and all that Warzone stuff. It's just making that type of content just doesn't appeal to me at all. So I'm going to be doing a lot of, like Legend of Zelda stuff and Super Mario stuff and Pokemon stuff. And I like those types of games. I like that aspect of it. Making that content appeals to me. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Again, I'm not going to be talking about it on this channel. I was just curious. 40% of you on 10 votes. So 4 of you guys said yes. There are 33 of you in here. Can we at least get like 15 votes? Just so I know what's up. I got 2.5 inches, Carmelo. Got it easy on 5'8". 5'8". We're not talking about the other thing. Damn, you fit like no archetype for any position other than running back. Hey. Freaking what's his name just got drafted. He's a 4'2". I could play quarterback. Yeah, no, I could. If I was going to play in the NFL, it would have to be as a slot corner or a running back. That's literally the only thing. I could either shed 20 pounds and be a slot corner, 5'10", $180, $185, or I could put on 10 pounds and be 5'10", 210, and be a running back. But yeah, no, I'm good. Yeah, that's it, really. Alrighty. Let's end this poll. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Being honest here. I would love to go back and play on the edge. It was like the most fun I'd had. Nah, man. Not for me. I get it. If that's what you like and that's what you're a fan of, do you. But I ain't about it. Brady Quinn was 5'9", isn't he? I don't know. Let's find out. Brady Quinn. 6'3". Brady Quinn is 6'3". I was one of the no votes. I appreciated Ronald Perry. Like I said, it wasn't something that I planned on bringing it up, but no, I get it, Xavier. If that's what you played and you had fun, man, like it's a. Again, everybody plays like there's different positions, and everybody loved it, and everyone does different things, and blah 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 blah. Just not for me. I never liked the defensive side of the thing. Tigo, you look more like a baseball player. Never was super interested in baseball. Played it. Was a shortstop for a long time. I found that playing baseball was too monotonous, was too boring. I wanted more action. I wanted to be a part of the things, and honestly, I wanted a game that was more violent, if I'm being honest. I wanted to be able to like use my body and play a more physical game. So, played lacrosse, played soccer, played football, played baseball. I did all that stuff. I played every position on the line besides center. That includes defense too. Damn. Brady Quinn was a lousy QB in the NFL. Now he's a lousy broadcaster. Yeah. Yeah, played soccer for a long time, Dark. Played soccer for a long time. I remember playing, they had me at tackle, and I couldn't block for crap. But they realized I also couldn't be blocked. Hey, there you go. Sounds like another edge rusher that just got drafted to the New York Jets at the number 15th pick. Isn't that his story? They tried to play him on the offensive line, and they were like, what? No, this ain't going to work. So they put him on the other side. And they were like, ooh, we're on to something. Wasn't that what happened there? Alrighty. It's 11 o'clock. I think I'm going to end the stream there. We've been live for an hour and 20-ish minutes. Let's end with a story time. Let's do a quick story time. What story do I want to tell today? What story do I want to tell today? What's a good story? I need a good story. I'm trying to think of one. Made a list. Oh, no, I have not, Xavier. I have not. I got to make a list. I got to make a list of stories. It's a quick story. Oh, this is a quick story. Tell the story of the day I got shot. Okay, I'm putting massive quotation marks on this, okay? I didn't actually get shot, but I got shot, okay? For those of you who don't know, the military has this wonderful application. It's called simunition. So you get a real gun, change out the bolt, change out a couple of the pieces, and you shoot. Essentially, they're paintball pellets, but it's a plastic little piece filled with paint that comes at you like hell on wheels. It's insane. It's called simunition, right? If you ever want to look it up, look it up. Literally type in simunition. It's the name of the company, and you'll see what I'm talking about. They're these fake bullets that shoot plastic pellets, and you can shoot them like at people. You know, and that's just the way that it works. And so it's not a rubber bullet. Again, it's paint, right? Like that's what it is. And you've got to use a lot of protective gear, like a face mask, a full body pad, the whole nine. And the thing is that it hurts like hell. The idea is when you get hit, you know you got hit. So you wear this like super black face mask, the whole thing. So I'm going through this training course up in Georgia with this simunition stuff. And for those of you who don't remember, I was on a special forces track when I was in the Navy. So yeah. And so we're doing the thing. We're having all that stuff, right? And for those of you, again, who don't know, I was a medic in the Navy. So we're doing that whole thing, and I as the medic, you're the 8th man or the 12th man, depending on how big you're whatever, right? So I was the last guy always, because the most important person on the team is the medic. They're the last one through the door. Like that's as much as I would like to be the first guy through the door, and I wanted to do all that stuff, I wasn't that guy. But again, I was the last guy through the door. It's besides the point. Blah 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 blah. So you're running these drills. And so we're doing this thing where we're working through the forests of Georgia and doing different things like this. And again, it's supposed to be like a, you know what, you're abandoned, you got to get to this thing, you got to work it out, figure it out, blah, blah, blah. Can't really talk about what went on. And we're walking, in a relatively standard, kind of spread out formation. I'm in the back, I'm holding up the rear, all of this stuff. And we're walking, and out of nowhere, you just hear, bah! And then a sharp, sharp pain with this shoulder out of nowhere. And I look down, and there's that little blue mark. And then I realized that I lost my arm. And what I mean by that is, like, it hit me so hard. So for those of you who don't know, you wear a vest, right, when you're in the military. But the vest that I had didn't have any protection right here. The vest that I was wearing, I think I still have it somewhere. It's made by Cry Precision. Sorry. I'll pull it up. Cry Precision. Cry is spelled Crye. And then the JPC, right? It has this little, like, Velcro. I don't even know how to. It's like plastic, right? So I got hit right there. And it hit me in such a way that it hit me right between the joint, like right where the socket, the ball of your arm goes into the socket. It hit me right there, like perfectly at an angle that the force, because it came across my body this way, and it hit me right here. It knocked my arm right out of my shoulder. And not only, like, it knocked the wind out of me, it knocked my arm out of my shoulder. Dude, it knocked me on my ass. Pardon my French. It was one of the coolest things that has ever happened to me, and one of the worst things that have ever happened to me. It was a really, really cool thing. Thankfully, I was a medic, and I got my buddies to be able to help me pop it back into place, and technically I was fine. I just had a GSW for the rest of the thing, and we finished the mission, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, that was a cool little thing that I was doing. And fun fact, when I did that, I wasn't even in the Navy. That was when I actually got separated from the Navy, and I was trying to get back in. And I was doing this thing. So there's that. Dom! What's up, Dom? We're just ending the stream. I'm sad you got here so late. I just ended. But alrighty, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. I'm going to finish my dinner because I'm starving. And if I'm being honest with you, I would keep the stream going, but I am starving. I'm going to finish this plate. I want to get another plate, and I kind of want to go to bed early tonight. And so we're going to end the stream. Guys, remember, we go live every Friday at 9:30, so be back here next Friday at 9:30, and hopefully we'll have some other things to talk about. I'll have a better structured schedule for the live stream so that we can talk about, not whether or not I can get 3.5 yards out of the slot. Dom, let me ask you a question. I'm wide receiver 6, me, right, in the NFL, but Patrick Mahomes is my quarterback. You think I can get 3.5 yards? Slant route, right? You give me a full off season to work out, okay? I got one route. I run a slant. You think I can get 3.5 yards? Let me know, Dom. But everybody else, while we're waiting for Dom's answer, because he's the true, whether or not he's going to break my heart is going to come in real soon. Thank you so much for hanging out, guys. It's always a pleasure hanging out with all you guys. We got 19 likes. If we can get one more like, I greatly appreciate it. Guys, if you're watching this after the fact and you're not subscribed, my little analytics thing says that about 50% of you guys aren't subscribed. What are you doing? It is the best way to help support the channel. I greatly appreciate it, and helps us do a lot of really new and exciting and bigger and better things. We got a lot of things in the work for Talking Jets with Tigo and other projects that I'm trying to work on. So make sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell if you want to be notified whenever I go live or whenever I drop a video. Hopefully this offseason can start picking up some steam, because I miss talking Jets with all of you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you so much for being a part of this stream and being a part of the Talking Jets with Tigo community. I really appreciate all you guys. See you guys next Friday. And last but not least, go Jets.